Okay, last but certainly not least, we've got Red 5 Limited and Mark Williams, Managing Director of the company. Mr. Williams has been the MD of the company since April 2014. He was previously General Manager of the Tampakan Copper Gold Project in southern Philippines from 2007 to 2013. Mr. Williams has over 20 years of mining experience operating within a diverse range of open cut, underground, quarrying and civil engineering environments across the developed markets and the emerging markets of Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand and the South Pacific. We look forward to hearing more about Rev 5 today. Thanks very much, Mark.
Thank you very much, Duncan, for that introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, it was 5 years ago that Red 5 bought two unloved gold mines in the eastern goldfields of Western Australia. We purchased Darlot and King of the Hills. Over the next 20 minutes, let me share with you how we turned an initial investment of $35 million to what is now the 8th largest endowed gold mine in Australia with an amazing 16-year life of mine. Let me share with you how we did it, why we did it, and where we're going next. One of the key attributes that we have been able to build over the last 2 years is an amazing 4.7 million tonne per annum processing plant at King of the Hills. I was going through my picture deck recently and this photo stood out. It was just over 18 months ago that we started earthworks in December 2020. We had a bare paddock some 30 kilometres north of Leonora. I was on site yesterday, and this is what we have turned that bare paddock into. As you can see, we have the direct tipping into the 6 million tonne gyratory crusher. We have the large coarse ore stockpile under the conveyor belt, direct tip into the large 36-foot F.L. Schmidt SAG mill. We have 8 large tanks. Significant amount of gold comes from the gold processing that we have with the gold room. We have the 30 megawatt processing plant swinging round to our operations centre, the McMahon's workshop, and we have coming into view the large open pit that we're currently cutting back in the southern part of the open pit. I'd like to give Justin from Makarintquip a shout out. Despite the challenges of COVID, border closures, lack of staff, chaos in the international supply chain, with Makarintquip and Red 5, we've been able to build a top-rated facility of 4.7 million tonnes that's going to be a low-cost processing facility. As I touched on, Red 5 bought Darlot and King of the Hills as a business combination. I saw the opportunity to be able to purchase these two assets and bring them together, to be able to truck the high-grade underground ore from a select underground mine at King of the Hills, put it on a truck and move it some 100 kilometres up the highway to be able to fill the mill at Darlot, to be able to gain efficiencies and economies of scale. That was in October 2017. It was some 12 months later when I was sitting with Byron, our chief geologist, and we were looking at some of the latest drill assays. We were looking at these drill assays that were underground, horizontal, some 200 to 300 metres in length, and we were able to have a look at the whole-of-hole assays. And we found something quite remarkable, that the whole-of-hole assay for these 200 to 300 metres were about, on average, 1.5 to 2 grams. And we had that eureka moment could we turn King of the Hills from a select underground gold mine, can we turn the clock back to 2004 when it was last mined as a bulk open pit opportunity? The next day, we turned the drills around and we drilled the same type of holes, but in the other direction. Several months later, we were sitting around the same table on a Thursday afternoon with myself and Byron and a number of other key members of the team. And we had the same drill results, some 200 to 300 meters at 1.5 to 2 grams. So we ended up with these 2 to 3 football fields of these hole-of-hole assays of somewhere between 1.5, 1.8 and 2 grams. And that really lit the blue touch paper for Red 5. Within less than 4 years, we've completed a pre-feasibility study, a feasibility study. We've secured the debt, we've secured the equity, and we've constructed and we've ramped up a 4.7 million tonne per annum processing plant, delivering this on time and within budget, despite all these challenges the world has thrown at us over the past couple of years. So what has this meant for our all-important shareholders? As you can see, over the past 5 years since we've embarked on this endeavour, I believe that you would say that we've been very successful compared to our peer group within the mining industry. When we hit first gold on the 5th of June, we were some 700% value compared to where we started in those early days of October 2017. Quite frustratingly, we're down to some 440%, but I believe that we will, in time, get back to the prices that we were, and arguably you could see this as a good buying opportunity for Red 5. This is the picture that I was very personally proud of, and everyone at the Red 5 team. This was the gold pour that we were able to deliver on time and within budget on the 5th of June 2022. The budget that we spent was $226 million. This was the budget that we set ourselves in September 2020. Because of the decisions that we took in 2020, we were able to get ahead of the price curve and the inflation pressures. We were able to lock up and secure all of the key contracts within that December 2020 quarter. If we were to embark on this endeavour today, we haven't calculated it, but I believe that the number would start with a 3, not a 2, and take much, much longer than it has done. So, what have we built over this Red 5 journey of ours? Of course, at the heart of any good mining operations is the mill, and we have a substantial mill that we've purchased. It's a 36-foot F.L. Schmidt SAG mill. There's 3 of these in the country. The other 2 are combined with a ball mill. They have a SAG ball combination, and they're currently running at circa 9 million tonnes per annum. At King of the Hills, it's a closed-circuit SAG mill, and we're ramping up very nicely to our nameplate capacity of 4.7 million tonnes per annum. We will embark on another study in the very near future to be able to look at optimising the milling capacity and the processing capacity at King of the Hills to potentially look at the opportunity of increasing this to somewhere between 6 to 8 million tonnes per annum by putting additional grinding circuit in place, additional tanks, thickener, and some other equipment. So please look out for the start and the update on that study. Essentially, the value driver for this study will be that our current mine plan drops 1.5 to 2 million tonnes of mineralised waste or low-grade stockpiles, or low-grade on stockpiles that we will process at the end of our 16-year mine life. And it's essentially, the value proposition will be, can we bring the milling of those mineralised waste and low-grade stockpiles forward and be able to process and realise that value today as opposed to in the future. When we designed and built King of the Hills, we always had one eye with the future. The gyratory crushing circuit is a great example. The circuit is rated for 6 million tonnes and produces 6 million tonnes, runs at 6 million tonnes per annum. It's a single large mezzo gyratory crusher that we have had running at some 2,000 tonnes per annum. We have built through Zenith Power, our power partner, a 30 megawatt hybrid gas solar power station. One of the many benefits of King of the Hills is one, the proximity to Leonora, and secondly, that it is a brownfield site. With the proximity to Leonora, it is of course proximal to the Goldfields gas pipeline, so we're some 14 kilometres away from that. So we have the access, and the majority of our power is on relatively low-cost gas that we have been able to sign an agreement with, a 3+2 year agreement in 2021. Perth to Leonora is less than an hour in a jet plane, which is very important for our FIFO workers. So to be able to get from Perth to the mine site is an hour's flight, and then some 15 to 20 minutes bus journey up the highway to our modern 380-person accommodation village that has great food, great recreation facilities, and it really makes a point of difference for us to stand out when we're looking to attract and retain the all-important operators and our key personnel, particularly given the tight labour market that we're in. The key business partner that we have going forward is Macmahon's. We have signed a 5-year agreement with them for both mining of the open pit and the underground. Myself and the team have been working with Mick and Richard from Macmahon's for 18 months. We've done a lot of work, preparation and planning, and I'm delighted to say that between us, we've hit every milestone that we've been able to give ourselves. We've hit the first dig from the open pit, the first large blast, and the first underground stope blast more recently in June. We have 1.2 million tonnes, some 3 months worth of ore ahead of us on the ROM pad. King of the Hills, or Tarmola as it used to be, given its brownfield nature, and maybe some of you know Tarmola when it was a bulk operation back in the 80s and the 90s. It's produced 2 million ounces of gold in its history. With this brownfield nature, all of the key aspects such as the geology, the metallurgy, the geotechnical, all of those key parameters are well known and well understood. We have a mineral resource of 4.1 million ounces and an amazing 2.4 million ounces of ore reserve, which puts King of the Hills as the 8th largest endowed gold mine in Australia. Quite amazingly, the project is open in all directions. Areas that we will be looking to enhance, and we have confidence that we'll be able to increase the resource and reserve in the future. Underneath the southern part of the open pit, underneath the main rump of the ore body, and down the nose of the intrusion. It's really quite a unique and standout ore body. What we've created and what we've built at King of the Hills is a supersized processing centre targeting 4.7 million tonnes per annum at a processing cost of $12 per tonne. You can see how we compare to the peer group within the region. King of the Hills will not only process ore from King of the Hills underground and underground open pit deposits, but it will be able to process ore from satellite projects such as Great Western that we have. And now that we've turned off and suspended the Darlot processing plant, we will be turning the trucks around, which is a 180-degree difference from when we first embarked on this endeavour, and we will now be trucking the ore from our Darlot mill to King of the Hills to be able to take advantage of this significantly low processing cost. This low processing cost is enabled for 3 reasons. Firstly, because of the sheer economies of scale. Secondly, the very favourable metallurgy and mineralogy properties that we have. We have a coarse grind size of 150 microns, a low bond working index of 15, very low reagent and cyanide usage, and of course, we've touched on that low power cost. So, ladies and gentlemen, despite the performance of the share price over the past 5 years, I believe, that Red 5 still represents a standout value opportunity in the gold sector. If you can compare this graph, which is an enterprise value by reserve ounce, to our peer group, in particular Gold Road and Capricorn, which I believe are our closest comparisons, who are several years ahead of us. We're in the order of somewhere between $250 to $300 per EV to be reserve ounce, and you compare that to Gold Road of some 500 and Capricorn closer to 1,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that if we continue to hit the milestones and continue to hit our targets in the future, we will re-rate closer to our peer group. So, ladies and gentlemen, I acutely aware that I'm the last speaker of the day, and I'm in between you and a nice cold refreshing drink. So thank you very much for listening to the Red 5 story, and hopefully I've been able to share with you what we've been able to achieve over the past 5 years, why we've done it, and where we're going next. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark, and congratulations to you and the team to bring King of the Hills into production a few months ago. Do I have any questions from the floor? No, that's it. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the first day of the conference. We've now got in the sponsors marquee the Clark Energy cocktail party. So enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Thank you.